Housing First has 5 key principles. Principle number 5, social and community integration. Moving to a new area can be a hard experience for anyone and can make you feel pretty isolated and lonely. The Housing First team can help participants build community connections based on their specific needs and interests. The team also fosters community development by providing landlords and community members with education on housing first, inclusion, and myth-busting negative stereotypes. And though supporting social and community integration may take time, it can go a long way in helping participants establish relationships and support networks within new communities.
I've heard a lot of people say that it took them a long time to stop feeling angry once they were housed and walking around the neighborhood, because people would just walk by them when they were homeless, and they just were so upset by that, you know, like as if they didn't exist just because they were on this bench, you know, and now they're walking around and just trying to feel a little forgiveness for all of that time of invisibility.
100 years ago we had asylums, 50 years ago in BC we had some very large psychiatric institutions, and then more recently we have this idea of supported housing where we build apartment blocks. But what's in common with all that is the notion that people are living with people who share that experience of mental illness. The scattered site sort of pushes that another level, so now they're living in the same kind of housing that people with jobs have and students and whatnot. On that level, the community integration, it feels kind of accomplished in some way. What we haven't accomplished is the social integration and how we relate and include people. And so the sort of the residual stigma and discrimination we have is continuing to be a really significant barrier for people coming into these scattered site communities and really feeling like they belong.
I think it's really a gift for people to be one of many. You know, to be on the bus with other folks on the bus, just going downtown or wherever you're going, to sort of go get your mail out of the mailbox along with everybody else going to get the mail out of the mailbox, in the elevator with other people, living a regular kind of life.
So when somebody moves into a new neighborhood, really working on, this is your community. You deserve to be here. And I think the more we believe it, the more others will. And if not, they're gonna have to, because we're coming anyway.
Sometimes you offer a choice and people aren't quite sure what to do with it right away. But of course, it has everything to do with also how successful they're gonna be in that housing. How connected are they going to feel with the community around them? How easily can they access resources that they use? Or how much joy is it going to be to discover a new community and become connected with those things? As a worker, it's such a joy to be able to offer that, to be able to present people with choice.
It changes the responsibility for chronic homelessness from the person and from service providers to the wider community, and kind of places the responsibility on society as a whole. That kind of aligns maybe with the approach in traditional societies where homelessness is less of a problem, where people see that there's, you know, if somebody's in need, then there's like collective solutions to that.
It doesn't feel like a lot of work to me, you know, like to be kind, compassionate, to be loving, to do no harm, to be empowering. Those things are not, those are part of our grandfather teachings, right? You know, like those things, sacredness, respect and reverence for all life and all humans, and sharing and caring and all that stuff. Like, those are hopefully my way of being.
Just in the last year, I'm talking to people in my building. I think that's because we have animal connections, and I tend to talk to the dogs more than the people because I don't really like people very much. But that's just because of what I've been through.
When I moved into BC Housing, all of a sudden I had all these friendly people that were, hi, who are you? You're the new guy in 505. And they wanted to make friends with me now. It's like, I was just recently in the hospital. I got out of the hospital and they're all, we're so glad you're back. We care about you. And it is having that sense of establishing community where you live. And as simple as having neighbors down the hall that say hi and they're happy to see you. Instead of totally ignoring the fact that you said hi to them every week for 2 years.
Like if you've ever moved to a city as an adult, it takes a long time to meet people and make friends and socialize. And probably in the period of years, and that's what we saw. It probably took quite a while for people to become social, but what we have seen is lots of people having people over to their apartments, making dinners, and often the way they socialize change.
We had a lot of neighbor complaints for a while, and they're like, oh, I don't know about this person, they're causing a lot of problems, they're really loud and they scream and all of these things, and the landlord was really on his side and was like, we just need to give it time, and eventually he kind of stopped getting those complaints, and they started to spend time together, the landlord and this person, and he would go over there and they would have strawberries on the balcony together, and really started to become known in the community. We've seen a lot of things like that, of just people fitting in and feeling comfortable.
From a landlord perspective, they have tenancy issues from all over. They're not from just mentally ill clients who have been homeless. They have people who leave the country. They have students who trash apartments. They don't have any support with those tenants. So landlords just embrace the fact that they had somebody to call.
What we've always kept as our mission statement is to focus on the social determinants of health, the things that we can actually have some impact on people's lives, like food security, like access to meaningful community participation through, social enterprises that we run, or volunteer positions, recreation, leisure, vocational programs.
I finally stabilized my health. I figured, I'm not going to get any younger, so I might as well put in the time working and make some extra money and take myself on a vacation somewhere or something.
People are wanting to know where you were for those 10 years and why you didn't work, and have a lot of assumptions that they sort of fill in the gaps with. Yeah, we have an employment specialist who's great and helps work through a lot of those pieces.
She started bringing me some of the sheets, and that's what got me going to the point where I thought, if she believes in me, then I should believe in me.
But it's still relying on the public to start having an awareness and openness to hiring different people that really want to be there.
And despite the fact that we provide housing for people, everyone we work with still lives in poverty, like gripping poverty. Making it from check to check is incredibly difficult. So all the barriers of living poor still exist for everyone.
And it's becoming increasingly difficult the longer homelessness stays a problem, because now there's a whole generation of people, people under 30, think that homelessness is part of the landscape, and it isn't. I think social inclusion is not about the clients, it's about all of us. We all have to make a little room at the table and allow for one more guest to be part of it.